Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks, your show for gear tips, inspiration, anything that you need to take your photography over to the next level. My name is RC, and before being a photographer, before being a teacher and any of that stuff, I'm a dad. So I spend a lot of time with my child, my daughter Sabine, taking pictures. And I actually photographically started working with children and doing pictures of children. And I get a lot of comments on pictures and how to be able to take pictures with children and what kinds of things to be able to keep in mind. So I'm over on my Flickr page. If I go to flickr.com/aboutrc, you can see that I have a bunch of different pictures, right? So I tend to just take all sorts of different pictures with my daughter Sabine. So if this seems like it's a shameless promo for my daughter, it probably is. She's my #1 subject. So that's kind of how it works. There she is at Christmas. And let's see, I'll go over here to a couple of different shots. The questions that come in are all based on how do you make a cool shot of a kid, or how do you work with children when you're doing different types of pictures. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you guys some general rules of how to be able to take pictures of children and the kinds of things that you need to be able to keep in mind, whether the children be yours or whether or not you're taking pictures for somebody else. So this will give you kind of a general idea of how to be able to work with most of this stuff. One of the first things that you need to understand when you're taking pictures of children is that it is a painful process. There is nothing sweet about taking pictures of children. The pictures look sweet, but you never see what happens before or after, or how you're getting all of these kinds of shots. So while it looks like it's something that's pretty cool, it actually has really kind of like an underbelly to it, right? So it can be a very stressful situation. So that's the first thing that you need to understand. It isn't a magical thing where you go, oh, give me this beautiful smile, click, oh, it's awesome, yay. No. Oftentimes you really are fighting it and you're working with it. And there's a lot of situations where it does come very quickly, but understanding that it's going to take some work will level set you very much. Now, if you're taking pictures with other people's children, understand that that situation is automatically compounded by having nervous parents. Think of it this way. No one wants to be the dad or the mom of that kid. The kid who shows up and is like, running around and I don't want to do this. No one wants that less than the parent, because the parent's sitting there going, oh, but she's such a precious angel. She's wonderful. She's awesome. She's great. Well, of course she is. She is with you, and that's cool. But you can never judge what's going to happen inside of a photo shoot. So parents already come in high strung for this. They're like, we're going to have a really good shoot. We're going to really set this up. Don't mess this up for me. And there's all of these expectations that happen. And parents walk into a shoot, oftentimes a giant ball of stress. So right off the bat, whenever I'm taking pictures, I'll usually tell them, guys, you know what? It looks cute, but it is a lot of work. And they're going to cry. They're going to do this. They're going to do all sorts of things. It's okay. That happens on every single shoot. You know what? I'd actually be more surprised if they didn't cry, right? Because all of them cry or all of them do this. That may not necessarily be true, but when you say that to a person, at least it'll take their level of expectation and go, okay, all right, we can do this. This is fine. And then at that point, automatically bring the parent and go, but listen, I'm going to need your help. If you want me to work with this, we got to work together, right? And there's specific places that you want to do. By level setting it very, very early on in the game, you can kind of manipulate that situation so that it works towards your advantage. So that's something else, right? Now, expect to get peed on, right? You're going to get peed on. Their kid is going to pee on you. It's going to happen, right? If you're taking pictures of babies and you take a baby and you have them bundled up and then you take them out and they get cold, there's pee everywhere. Right? You're gonna get peed on, you're gonna get drooled on, you're gonna get thrown up on. All of that stuff is gonna happen. It's fine, it's totally cool. I tell you that so that you have that expectation and you go, oh, okay, now I'm gonna get peed on, I'm gonna get pooped on, I'm gonna get thrown up on. It's gonna be stressful. Understand that, but most importantly, convey that to the people that are bringing the child in. When you do that, you level set the parent to be able to go, okay, I got it. All of these things may happen, and it's cool if they do, but that photographer needs me to help. What am I going to do to help? And once you set them up to go, hey guys, I need your help. This is how you're going to be able to best help me. you have a greatly involved parent. You have all that energy going, okay, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to work with this? And that's the best thing that you need. Now, how do you harness all of that stuff? And what do you do with it is what we're going to talk about when we come back from a break.
Get the world's best photography, lighting, and Photoshop training at Photoshop World. Here's the top 10 reasons you should attend. It's 3 non-stop days of real-world training where you can get personal attention and unlimited access to the world's top instructors in Photoshop and photography. When you attend, you'll have chances to experience hands-on live shoots and workshops, outrageous after-hours parties and events, and hundreds of classes for all skill levels, along with dozens of opportunities to network with other attendees. In-depth, one-on-one portfolio reviews from industry professionals and see new cutting-edge technology. Plus, you can even earn continuing education and graduate-level credits from attending. This is the must-attend conference for photographers and Photoshop users. Use the promo code to get an extra $50 off. Photoshop World, the world's best Photoshop and photography conference.
Welcome back, Photography Tips and Tricks. RC here. So let's go ahead and talk to you about kid photography. We've set the parents up. We got them all taken care of, right? Really big bundles of energy. We don't know what they want to do with all of that stuff. What do we want them to work on? You know what we want them to work on? To stay aside, to move away from most of that stuff. A lot of the times they're very well-intentioned people, parents, but we want them to move aside and we want them to let us control a variety of the work that we want to do, especially since we're going to be doing the first thing, which is hitting the deck, right? If you take a look at this picture here, right? This is Eric Kuna, right? Guy that works here, right? His daughter, and I was taking pictures. But this is a great example of what we do as parents, right? Facebook all day long. You take a picture, you aim down at the child. Right? So you're always aiming down. This is how you're used to seeing all sorts of children. When you see kids, you see them from the top down. The first thing that you want to do for any kind of child photography is to get at eye level or under, right? Eye level or under. Whenever you do that, you're going to create a much more compelling picture than a picture that you could do for that. Here's eye level, right? An eye level shot tends to look a lot different, right? It's a non-traditional way of looking at a child. So you're used to seeing them from the top down. You're not used to seeing them on the floor. I usually tell people when you're taking pictures of children, if you're not getting dirty, you're not taking a good picture. You have to get down low. The more you do that, the better the shots are going to be. Here's another eye level shot, right? So eye level shots are going to be really, really good. From there, here's under eye level, right? So when the child is at the eye level and you come down under them, it kind of makes them seem a little larger than life. So automatically, that's something that you can use towards your advantage. It really makes them the center of attention for the shot. It makes it a lot more compelling for you to work with. So getting low is something that's going to be absolutely key. Now, taking pictures of children, babies, a lot of the times I usually tell them, Mom, Dad, move away, right? Get away, don't worry about it, it's fine. What I want you to do is I want you to just go away and I want to be the sole focus of attention. Now, children under 1 year old, right, usually by 1 or under, and in that age, still have a hard time with something called object permanence. What object permanence means is if I introduce something and that something disappears, right, you put it behind a hand or behind a head or do something, when they disappear, they're usually thinking, oh my God, that's magic. It existed in my world, and then it doesn't exist in my world anymore. That's the concept of peekaboo, right? When someone goes, it's here, it's not here. So that's what object permanence is. After 1 year old, what'll happen is a child will go, oh, you put it behind your head. It still exists, but it's somewhere else, right? So it's behind your head, it's behind a wall, it's somewhere else. But the game still kind of plays. So manipulate that to your advantage when you're taking a picture of a baby. Don't use 50,000 things to be able to take a picture of a child. Use one thing. Use a bright red something and have that be the only thing that's there. Use that. Play with this. Move this around from one side to another side, wherever you need it. And then when that's extinguished, put it away, right? If they don't seem like they have any interest, put that away and grab the next one thing. Having 40 different things doesn't help you. And in doing that, what'll happen is you can get a much more compelling shot by having somebody just focus on one individual thing. So that's going to be something that's the case. Look at the picture here. In this one shot, she has all of her eyes, she's looking exactly what's happening here, and she's looking at the one thing that I want her to look at, which is the ball. Now, while we're talking about that, it's important for us to be able to make sure that as a photographer, I'm shooting a shot, and I'm like, okay, well, the baby looks great, the baby looks wonderful. There we go, that looks like a good shot. And I wanna make sure that I'm taking the picture that I'm trying to take, right? The communication right now, eyes right here, right? Parents think that their babies are the most important babies in the world, and they are. This is not a problem, they totally are. But what'll happen is this, if you don't control where that baby's looking, you're going to get a lot of pictures that look kind of like this. Right? The baby's not looking at me, the baby's looking somewhere else. And what'll happen is parents think that they have the magic bullet to make their baby smile, and they know exactly how to be able to make their baby smile, and they know that one special trick on how to be able to make the baby smile, but guess what? If the baby's looking at the parent, and if you're having a hard time focusing on me, then chances are they're not helping. So, not good. So, how do we leverage the parent? How do we make the parent work for us a lot better? A lot of the times I tell them, munch on my ear. Not literally, but what you want to do is this. If I'm shooting straight at this camera, I'll tell them, stay right within my earshot. If you want to play peekaboo right from this one earshot. The closer that they stay here, and hopefully they're looking at the child, that will incite a response, that'll incite a little bit of a giggle, that'll incite a little bit of a play, and that could be something that could create a really, really good shot. So I think that that's absolutely important. Thanks, Pete, for that. Now, another thing that I saw that I thought was really, really neat was this, right? If you go to Tether Tools, right, you could just go ahead and type in, let me see, I'm gonna bring you over here. I'll go to Tether Tools, and they have something called a look lock, which I happen to think is really, really neat. Now, if you go over here, smartphone mounts, under the smartphone mounts section, they have this thing right here called a look lock system. I love this. Take a look at this. Here it is, it's the look lock. What it is, it's a cold shoe, sits right here, spins on, and I can move this down, get it exactly on place. Now what I'll do is I'll take my phone. So I have a 5-year-old, so we are big fans of PBS Kids. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna switch over here. Where's my PBS Kids app? There we are. PBS Kids loads up. I clip it on. I can shoot like this all day long. This is perfect for me. I could even grab this. If it doesn't get in the frame, I could put this nice and low, and I can shoot. Right now, that is still not in the frame. So I can get great pictures right from this one section, and the entire time. You could be watching a movie, you could be watching a show, you could be watching whatever. So I happen to think this is invaluable. If you go to tethertools.com, look for the look lock system, worth its weight in gold if you're doing pictures of children. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you, two last things. Number one is oftentimes a kiss is not a kiss. Don't look for these magical moments, and these magical moments will actually look very, very different, right? If you look at this picture right here that I have, right? So this is my buddy Ryder. I went out and I hung out with him in Orlando, and I just wanted a nice tender moment with his mom. She'll post this on Facebook after we treat it and do all sorts of stuff, and they're gonna be like, oh, that's so cute, Ryder was doing this. You know what I told Ryder? I said, Ryder, grab your mom, bring her really, really tight, and blow into her nose, right? And Ryder, I want you to go really, really close, and I want you to bite her lip, and I want you to do so. So basically, we were insinuating something. The worst thing you could do is give your mom a kiss. You know why? Because this is what you'll get. No. So rather than do that, smell your mom's breath, smell your mom's nose, get them really close and do the shot. No one needs to know that that picture is not him giving his mom a kiss. That could be your dirty little secret, right? It looks like a kiss, but it's actually a nose blowing. So that's something that's really important. The last thing that we want to talk about is edit, edit, edit. Take a look at this here. This is a shoot that I've been trying to do with my daughter, right? So I wanted her to sit down and look, there's tons of different pictures, and she's moving around and she's doing all sorts of different things. At one point she moves away. At one point she goes into another room. There's 100, and this is actually 59 pictures. The actual shoot was 110. The only picture that I shared from that was that one. Right? Nice and low, really, really tight, playing with blocks, but there were 179 shots, right? You post one, they're like, oh, that's a beautiful moment. Yeah, well, you know, that beautiful moment took 179 shots. Shoot, 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 work with it. While you're doing that stuff, work smaller, right? Work in smaller doses. That's the last tip. Don't necessarily think that you need to be able to have all of your shoots done immediately, because what will happen is a lot of the times, kids have a very, very short attention span. Shoot in a burst, shoot for 2 minutes. After you shoot for those 2 minutes, then walk out, right? So here's a child, right? There we have at Disney, right? Standing in front of the plants. Not really all that interesting. Get really, really close. Use them as a background. Much better, right? Get it even tighter. Much better still. Nice background, just happens to be right by the parking lot. Very, very easy, but 2 seconds, we're done. Bam, 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 done, move. Because this child will turn into, from that to that, in about 10 seconds. And as soon as that happens, walk away. Stand up, go, hey, we're gonna take a look at something else, we're gonna walk away. This is a picture that I did of my daughter for Easter. Looks cute, looks interesting, looks awesome, but this was the same shoot. And so was this, and so was this. So at the end of the day, no one needs to see those pictures. You're shooting through them, shoot them and show them. That's gonna be the blackmail picture right there. So she's gonna look at this shot and she's gonna be like, you actually showed that. Right? Sheer terror. Everybody sees my daughter and they're like, oh my gosh, she's got great pictures. Yeah, she's also got some terrible pictures. She's got some pictures where she's crying. Short shoots, a lot of different types of shoots, and edit, edit, edit. Hopefully these tips will help you make some great children's photography. Now, we have a website that I want you to take a look at. Let's go over here. Let's do something completely different. My buddy Mike Wyasek has been updating his website. He's using SmugMug, and he's got some really, really nice shots. He's an engineer by day at Google, but a great photographer, and goes out and captures some really, really interesting things. Please make sure you go take a look at it. Go over to MikeWyasek.com for more information. Now, the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to go to PeachPit.com. At PeachPit.com, you're gonna go and you're gonna sign up for an ebook deal, right? So go to PeachPit.com/KelbyOne, type in a code KelbyOne, and you're going to get a 40% off discount on an ebook, Photographer's MBA Senior High School Portraiture by Sal Sincata. So if you want to book, 40% off. Best place to go, peachpit.com/KelbyOne, enter in the code KelbyOne. Now, contest time. Let's go to KelbyOne.com/contest. Make sure that you enter in a show name, photography tips and tricks, put in your name, put in your email, put in your website, put in episode 53, and tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you didn't see. Tell us what you think would be cool to cover. We'd be more than happy to do that for you. Our producers will pick one person and we'll give them 100% kid. Allison Tyler Jones, a photographer's guide to capturing kids in a whole new light. So, very, very kid-friendly show. My name is RC, and we'll see you guys next week here on Photography Tips and Tricks. Take care.